Picking my nose.
Picking your nose? Alright, so...
Your water?
You want me to open this?
Your water, Dad.
Do you want me to open this?
Yeah. Because you're water, you love water, and you haven't tried it.
Here, I opened it for you. Hi guys, it's Daddy and Cooper, and we're doing...
I forgot.
A book. We're doing a book review again, and we're on chapter 3 of Pippi Longstocking by Astrid Lindgren.
They already know.
You guys already know, according to Cooper, so I shouldn't be telling you, but I try to give credit where credit's due. Pippi Longstocking, Astrid Lindgren.
Yeah, and this time, Pippi is, playing tag with the police. And don't do that in real life, guys.
What he said.
Yeah.
Don't play tag with the police in real life. Good advice, Cooper.
Yes.
Good advice. So this
Don't get into everyone.
Okay, so this is Pippi Longstocking, chapter 3. It's called Pippi Plays Tag with Some Policemen. Okay, here we go, Coop. You ready? Ready to start?
Yes.
Okay, you laying down, getting comfy?
Popcorn.
You need some popcorn?
Yes.
We just made popcorn.
Yeah.
On the stove! Okay, here you go. Coop, just have a little bit. Don't do that, bud.
Dad, wherever you are.
I'm just having one bite of popcorn, too. You can't have a bite of popcorn after you... When you pass the bowl, you gotta get a bite of popcorn.
Yeah, you too.
I'm good.
Oh.
I had one. Alright. That was a good introduction, right, bud?
Yeah. And that's not a lie. Really, do not play tag with the police.
They know. They know, buddy.
Promise me. Yeah.
Yes, they promise. Okay, here we go. Okay, ready?
No, I'm gonna start Star Wars noise.
Okay.
Ooh, 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 ooh. Hey guys, now my dad can whistle.
Oh boy. Right? Okay. Okay, so that was the Empire song. That was from the Empire Strikes Back. That was the intro of it. Okay, so here we go. Ready for Pippi Longstocking? Are you done with this? Couple more, okay? Then we're going to start.
I'm ready whenever you are.
Okay. 3, 2,
1.
blast off. Pippi plays tag with some policemen. It soon became known throughout the little town that a 9-year-old girl was living all by herself in Villa Coola, and all the ladies and gentlemen in the town thought that this would never do. All the children must have someone to advise them, and all the children must go to school and learn their multiplication tables. So the ladies and gentlemen decided that the little girl in Villa Coola must immediately be placed in the children's home. One lovely afternoon, Pippi had invited Tommy and Annika over for an afternoon coffee and a paprika. Remember what those are?
What?
From the chapter before? They're cookies from Sweden. Right? They're Swedish cookies. Right?
Mm-hmm.
She had spread the party out in front of the steps. And it was sunny and beautiful there, and the air was filled with fragrance of flowers and in Pippi's garden. Mr. Nielsen climbed around the porch railing, and every now and then the horse stuck out his head so that he'd be invited to have a cookie. "Oh, isn't it a glorious day to be alive?" said Pippi, stretching out her legs as far as she could reach. Just at that moment, 2 police officers in full uniform came through the gate. "Hooray!" said Pippi. "This must be our lucky day, too. Pippi, policemen are the very best things I know. Next to rhubarb pudding, of course, she said. And, with her face beaming, she went to meet them. Is this the little girl who's moved into Villa Villacula? Asked one of the policemen. Quite the contrary, said Pippi. This is a tiny little auntie who lives on the 3rd floor of the other end of town. She said that only because she wanted to have a little fun with the policeman. She said that only because she wanted to have a little fun with the policeman, but they didn't think it was funny at all. They said she shouldn't be such a smarty, and then they went on to tell her that some nice people in the town were arranging for her to get into the children's home. I already have a place in the children's home, said Pippi. What? Asked one of the policemen. Has it been arranged already, then? What children's home? This one, said Pippi, haughtily. I'm a child, and this is my home. Therefore, it is a children's home, and I have room enough here. Plenty of room, Pippi said. Dear child, said the policeman, smiling, you don't understand. You must get into a real children's home and have someone to look after you. Is one allowed to bring horses to the children's home? Asked Pippi. No, of course not, said the policeman. That's what I thought, said Pippi sadly. Well, what about monkeys? Of course not. You ought to realize that. Well then, said Pippi, you'll have to get the kids of your children's home somewhere else, because I certainly don't intend to move there. But you don't understand that you must have to go to school. Why? Asked Pippi. To learn things, of course, the policeman said. What sort of things? Asked Pippi. All sorts, said the policeman. Lots of useful things. Multiplication tables, for instance. I have got along fine without the pluttification tables for 9 years, said Pippi, and I guess I'll get along without them from now on, too. Yes, but just think of how embarrassing it would be for you to be so ignorant. Imagine when you grow up and somebody asks you what the capital of Portugal is, and you can't answer it. Oh, I can answer it all right, said Pippi. I'll answer it like this. If you are so bound and determined to find out what the capital of Portugal is, then, for goodness sakes, write directly to the Portugal people and ask them. Yes, but don't you think that you would be sorry not to know it yourself? Oh, probably, said Pippi. No doubt I should lie awake at nights and wondering, what in the world is the capital of Portugal? But one can't be having fun all the time, she continued, bending over and standing on her hands for a change. For that matter, I've been in Lisbon with my papa, and, she added, still standing upside down, for she could talk all that way, too. But then one of the policemen said that Pippi certainly didn't think she could do just as she pleased. She must come to the children's home, and immediately. He went up to her, and he took hold of her arm, but Pippi freed herself quickly, touched him lightly, and said, Tag! Before he could wink an eye, she had climbed up the porch railing and onto the balcony above the porch. The policemen couldn't quite see themselves getting up in the same way, and so they rushed into the house and up the stairs, but by the time they had reached the balcony, Pippi was halfway to the roof. She climbed up the shingles almost as if she were a little monkey herself. In a moment, she was up the ridgepole, and there she jumped easily onto the chimney. Down on the balcony stood 2 policemen, scratching their heads, and on the lawn stood Tommy and Annika, staring at Pippi. Isn't it fun to play tag? Cried Pippi. And weren't you nice to come over? It certainly is my lucky day, too. When the policemen had stood there for a while, wondering what to do, they went and got a ladder, leaned it against the gables of the house, and then climbed up. First the policeman, and then the other, to get Pippi down. They looked a little scared when they climbed out onto the ridgepole and, carefully balanced themselves, went step by step towards Pippi. Don't be scared, cried Pippi. There's nothing to be afraid of. It's just fun. When the policemen were a few steps away from Pippi, down she jumped from the chimney and, screaming and laughing, ran along the ridgepole to the opposite gable. A few feet from the house stood a tree. "Now I'm going to dive," she cried, as she jumped right down into the green crown of the tree, caught fast hold of the branch, swung back and forth for a while, and let herself fall to the ground. Quick as a wink, she dashed around to the other side of the house and took away the ladder. The policemen had looked a little foolish when Pippi jumped, but they looked even more so when they balanced themselves backwards along the ridgepole and were about to climb down the ladder. At first, they were very angry at Pippi, who stood at the ground looking up at them, and then they told her in uncertain terms to get the ladder and to be quick about it, or she would get something she wasn't looking for. Why are you so cross at me?" asked Pippi, reproachfully. "We're just playing tag, aren't we?" The policeman thought for a while, and at last one said, "Oh, come on, won't you be a good girl and put that ladder back up so we can get down?" "Of course I will," said Pippi, and put the ladder back up instantly. "And when you get down here, we can all drink coffee and have happy time." But the policemen were certainly tricky, because the minute they got down to the ground again, they pounced on Pippi and cried, "Now you'll get it, you little brat!" "Oh no, I'm sorry. I haven't time for play any longer," said Pippi. "But it was fun, at least," she said. Then she took hold of one of the policemen by their